Crypto Cats, my name is Tom and I am the crypto investor, and it's time for our weekly market roundup. As ever, we start with the heat map of the top 100 coins, and you can see that once again it is beautifully green. Wow, what a week it's been. Ethereum's up 23%, just flirting with $4,000. Bitcoin, more modest, 3.5%. Just over 50,000 at the moment, but yet to really break the 50,000, and we'll have a look on the charts in a minute. Solana, just another 50% this week. I think it's more like 70 if you count it from 8 days ago. But who's counting? Just incredible moves for Solana. And really, it's a story of layer 1 blockchains that are doing very well. DOT, 30%. Most of the layer 1s, very, very nice. Cardano already kind of had its run last week, as did Avalanche. And Tezos also did. So they're the only ones that are red just because they're cooling off a bit after their runs. We're also seeing DeFi looking pretty nice. So yeah, just beautiful. Let's go into the bubbles and see if we're missing anything. There's a big one there. Phantom behind here, up 130%. Quite incredible. I think they've offered a $230 million incentive program, which is what we saw Avalanche do. They're trying to encourage. They're basically paying extra for people to use their platforms for DeFi, and that's how they're enticing people off it. And it's a sensible time to be doing this. Obviously, whilst Ethereum is very expensive, people are wondering, where can I get my yield elsewhere without paying a fortune in gas? So it's smart. It's smart. IOTA, up 78%. I'm not sure why. Again, it's a layer 1 solution, so yeah, maybe it's just playing catch up. Quant has just broken to all-time highs at 50% this week. I bought a bag of that a few weeks ago, moving very nicely. All right, let's jump into the rest of the action. So this week, Cardano is launching its hard fork, Alonzo, which would bring smart contracts. So this is a big old deal. That's on the 12th of September. Is that the following week? Anyway, it's quite soon. So if you don't know this website, by the way, CoinMarketCal tells you, you can choose the categories, the coin, and these are the news events coming up. Yield Guild Games. I'm a holder of this. They're basically providing scholarships, and they have NFT collections for in-game items like an Axie. They're listing on KuCoin this week on the 6th, so may see a lot of volume tomorrow with that. Pretty nice to see. That's the major things for the time being on that. Please do hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Please do subscribe. Please do hit the alert button as well. It really, really, really helps. Thanks, team. All right, so what we got? Well, you've probably seen that Ethereum is rallying incredibly, and this is really due with the amount of burning which we're seeing post EIP 1559. 1 month today we had EIP 1559. And for anyone who doesn't remember what that is, it basically means that every time there's a transaction on Ethereum, some of that Ethereum is burnt. And the busier the network is, the more Ethereum is burnt. Well, we've had this mania with NFTs, which they require even more computational power. So they burn even more Ethereum, and it's just leading to this almost deflationary asset, and it will become deflationary in 6 months' time after ETH 2.0. But right now, so we've been going 30 days, 200,000 Ethereum has been burnt at $4,000 each. Can you do the maths? That's a lot of money. And in the last 7 days, 76,000 has been burnt. So a third in the last week. So you can see that it's ramping up the amount that we're burning, which is quite incredible. And we can simulate after the merge of 2.0 that Ethereum at this transactional speed, these transactional rates will become deflationary by 1.7%. So we're going to run out in about 55 years. I'm sure they'll make some further changes, which will benefit the holders. But it's as Raoul Pal said on the Bankless podcast. If you haven't listened to it, I highly recommend you do. Official Bankless merch. That it is the best trade. There's an insatiable demand. You just wait until corporations start looking at putting their NFTs on Ethereum. Can you imagine when Disney says, "All right, we're launching a range of NFTs. These are all the Star Wars NFTs. These are all the Marvel NFTs." They can make billions from that, and of course they're going to use the safest, best blockchain for this. It's ridiculous. And then you combine with that the fact that it becomes deflationary. it shouldn't be allowed. It's just too good an investment prospect. Anyway, I'm trying not to be a ETH maxi. I've been adding to my Solana bag, and I'll talk a bit more about Solana as well, because that's just had an incredible week. But you can see that the burn is coming from OpenSea, the NFT marketplace. That's where a lot of this is coming from. In the last 24 hours, we'll talk in a minute about loot and what that is, but so much is being burnt by more loot, which is quite remarkable. So that is what is happening. And what do we have? So you can see that the annual inflation of Ethereum is just falling off a cliff since the EIP 1559 and since this NFT mania. So as I said, it was at 4% inflation, as in 4%. The supply was growing by 4% every year. We're heading down to 1.5% right now. And will be, minus 2% inflation once the merge happens in 6 months. So, we might actually even get deflationary if people can really stomach the gas fees. And we are deflationary, like when you get these NFT drops and when we see gas, I can't remember what it has to be, but around 200 GUI or so, it becomes deflationary momentarily. But how are we going to solve this gas problem? And, is Ethereum really going to be able to scale? Well, yes. And Arbitrum is one of the best ways of doing this. We're bundling up transactions, so you can have hundreds of transactions in one. And that's what layer 2 is. And so that will sit on top of Ethereum and help us to scale. And this is all before even 2.0 adds extra benefits. But Arbitrum has basically just gone live, and we can now see what's happening. So this is L2 beat, and it gives us an idea of what layer 2 is up to and how much a volume they're seeing and value locked within their protocols. And you can see Arbitrum, new member on this list, heading up very quickly with 8,240%, of course from a very low base, change this week. So we'll keep an eye on this and see what's happening with these layer 2 solutions. But yeah, quite an amazing entry from Arbitrum, and we'll see this climb probably up into the top space in time. But it's all good, and this should start to ease those gas. This is what we've been waiting for. This is, as the Bankless guys say, Ethereum's broadband moment, which can really help to scale. And so yeah, don't be afraid that that Ethereum can't compete because of these gas fees. There's two-prong attack solution coming to solve that issue. It's worth looking at ratiogang.com again. This basically looks at the comparing Bitcoin to Ethereum market cap, and you can see that we are just 1% away from the half flippening. So Ethereum being half the value of Bitcoin. So once that hits 50%, we're at half the value. We did flirt with that. In fact, we'll come back to that in the charts and have a look at that. But it's looking like it should be happening fairly soon. All right, what have we got? And this is just showing those gas fees have been ridiculous. This is this NFT mania that's been driving the gas costs these last few weeks. So you can see we're well above average, but that's what's causing all this burn. This is a line from this article that I really, really liked. If you're familiar with Axie Infinity, so this is obviously this kind of Pokemon game, which many Filipinos are using now for an income. I believe there's something like 500,000 players in the Philippines earning real wages. To play it, you need the Ronin wallet, which is like their MetaMask, but for Axie. And there are more Filipinos with Ronin wallets than there are with credit cards. Mental. So yeah, it just gives you an idea. And what's happening in the Philippines is that if they sell their SLP token, which is one of the ones you need as this in-game token, they sell it, that's a taxable event. As you can see here, they're talking about, need to pay tax on that. So a side economy has grown in the Philippines. So if, you can buy, what was it, like on this podcast I was listening to, if you need a dermatology appointment or some dumplings or something, people are starting to accept SLP within the Philippines. It's unreal to see what's happening. And this is just the first big breakout of a paid-to-play game. Just wait until things like Star Atlas really take effect. Quite amazing to see what's going on. All right, so this is the main guy from BlockFi, Crypto Dad, Giancarlo, has quit after just a couple of months. And so I just wanted to raise this little red flag because BlockFi, they're basically under a bit of regulatory scrupulation, and they were having a round of funding recently as well, and their main funder dropped out. So I don't think they're going anywhere. I'm sure they'll be fine, but just as a caution, I've taken my capital out of BlockFi, just because I'm feeling less and less at ease. And anyway, I can get better yields with other CeFi providers out there like Nexo and Crypto.com. I only use them for a little bit of my yield return. I prefer to do it through DeFi protocols, but you know, if you're looking for something really easy like Nexo, in fact you can probably find the link in my description below. You know, you can get 8% on your Ethereum at Nexo, and you can get 12% on your stable coins, so it beats BlockFi's yields, and I'm just a little worried for BlockFi right now, looking a little vulnerable. Whereas FTX seem to be going from strength to strength. So they've just acquired LedgerX, who I hadn't heard of. But basically, LedgerX are already regulated crypto futures and options trading provider in the US. And so SBF has cleverly bought them to basically effectively buy their... he's buying the red tape, he's buying the regulation. And yeah, FTX token FTT has pumped on the back of this, and I still think it looks pretty good value. I really do rate SBF. He's just it seems to have the Midas touch and amazing visionary in this space. So yeah, that's pretty cool. I meant to share this last week and I forgot, but this is interesting, kind of like little Easter egg which most people seem to have noticed now, that this is, so Sushi Chef, who are retweeting this is Sushi, the dApp provider, as in Sushi Token. So they are talking about Shoyu, which is a NFT platform coming soon, and you can join their Discord. There's already 7,000 followers. It's basically just telling us something's about to happen. Speculation is there's going to be an NFT marketplace with built-in DeFi, and that you will be remunerated in, if you hold SushiX token, you stake your sushi on sushi.com, then you get a proportion of the yield from the NFT sales or whatever it might be. So I'm just telling you this now because I think this could, as and when this becomes a public announcement, we can really see Sushi run on the back of this. And Sushi is like 60th by market cap, which still seems very cheap to me. So yeah, I quite like that. I was just mentioning FTX, and so if you look at this is looking at the market share of volume on exchanges, and you can see that well ahead here is, this isn't the graph I wanted. I do these in one take and I'm not starting again, but basically we've seen, here we go, it's much better written here. So Binance was 70% of the market share, and Coinbase 9%, and FTX at 5.7%. But FTX has grown its market share from 1.5 to 5.7 just in August alone, and it's really starting to move and kind of nip at those heels. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see much, you know, that's why I'm quite bullish on the FTT token. It's a really, if you've ever used FTX, again, link below, you should probably sign up for it. It's really good, really intuitive. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it just continues to go from strength to strength. Binance has their problems, and yeah, I wouldn't bet against it flipping Binance within 5 years, which is quite a bold statement with Binance having 70% of the total market. But anyway, so Star Atlas went live. If any of you were lucky enough to get some Atlas and Polis tokens, as per my video 2 weeks ago, $500 would have net you $65,000. It went up 130x. So yeah, lucky you if you went through those steps on FTX again, and you were one of the ones that got the ticket. $500 to 65 grand. It's just unbelievable returns. So yeah, the Polis token, there's two tokens, Polis and Atlas. Atlas will be the in-game token, the currency within the game. Polis is the governance token. I think the tokenomics for Polis are far better. I've bought some Polis personally. I like it. You know, this is such an ambitious game. They're going to release it in this modular fashion. First, you'll get like your hangar where you'll see your spacecraft and stuff. They're releasing little bits of in-game kind of ideas and cinematic sequences. And then, you know, once you've got that module of your hangar, you'll have a race simulator. Then you'll have arenas and stuff. It's going to take, 5-10 years to build out this whole game. It's so ambitious, but it's meant to be, like AAA quality game. Really exciting if they can achieve this. And the idea of this metaverse in-game economy is mind-blowing. You'll have, we talk about, obviously there's so much automation happening within our global economy, and that all anyone who drives vehicles is going to be put out of jobs by autonomous vehicles and such, and we're seeing it in so many other areas. The metaverse for me now is looking very likely that it's going to take up that slack. I wouldn't be surprised if the metaverse is the biggest employer of humans within 30 years or so. It's mind-blowing, and what's wonderful about it is that it doesn't know political barriers or race or creed or whatever it is. It's indiscriminatory, so anyone anywhere in the world can be anyone and be paid anything whilst working in the metaverse. And it's really, you're going to see more and more about this rhetoric, and we'll talk a bit more about MVI token and how you can get exposure to the metaverse, or many of these tokens that are set to benefit from this. But it's mind-blowing what's happening and how quickly it's happening, again, because of NFTs, allowing this in-game economy to function. All right. Talking of NFTs, look at this for a mad statistic. So the total market cap of all the art in the world is $50 billion. And the total NFT marketplace has just hit $12.5 billion. So 25% of the total art market cap is now JPEGs. And this is just how quickly this space is growing. I mean, it's frothy, it's bubbly. If you haven't seen my other video on NFTs, check it out. Yeah, that's just a mind-blowing statistic, how in a matter of months it's managed to get to 25% of the market cap. And on that NFT space, so there's this week has been all about loot. If you haven't seen it, basically it's these really simple set of words, and the cheapest one right now is, what's that, for 50 grand or so, 14 Ethereum. These were 0.1 Ethereum a week ago. But what's different about this loot thing is that these translate into in-game items, and the game isn't really even there yet, but you can see them kind of through this NFT. And so the idea is that you'll buy, let's say in a game, you'll buy an NFT which will be, I don't know, your cool rainbow robe, and then when you go into your game, because you have that NFT in your wallet, it will be there to choose to wear and to populate. And that's what these loot boxes are effectively doing. They're allowing to buy items, Sorrow Moon, linen gloves, whatever it might be. This is what's happening. You'll go in the metaverse and you'll go over and there'll be different shops. You'll see Nike or Disney or whatever it might be, and you'll be able to buy some Disney shoes. The real shoes will be sent to your house. The NFT version will go on your feet for your character in game, and you can flex them in game. But in the real world, you made that purchase. This is how the metaverse is going to look, and it's going to fit in, and it's nuts. Anyway, let's jump into the charts. Let's have a look at what's going on. So let's start, of course, with the big boy Bitcoin. So here we are sat at $50,000. We're just flirting with 50,000 right now. After we did just have a red week last week, but overall we continue to surge upwards. This wonderful move. And the chances are that we have quite a few stops around here, 50, 51.5, 52,000. So we're just looking for Bitcoin to get enough traction, get past what must be a very big sell wall at this kind of psychological barrier, and take out these stops. And then we should see an impulsive move really to 55 to 58,000 or so. But I don't hold any Bitcoin personally. Many people I'm hearing on podcasts I listen to who are big Bitcoin maxis talking about the benefits of smart contracts and what could be achieved, and again chatting about the metaverse and such. And I think more and more people are waking up to the fact that Bitcoin, even though it is a very safe store of wealth, it's kind of a finished product, and it's kind of inert, and it doesn't really do anything apart from store wealth. And Ethereum is quickly becoming obvious that it is a store of wealth. It's ultrasound money. It's going to be deflationary as well, which Bitcoin isn't. We still have mining in Bitcoin. So, okay, Bitcoin is a safer bet because you can't tinker, you can't have protocol changes so much, but it can't be improved. Whereas Ethereum's always been bettered and improved, and of course you can. Demand is also always being increased by the fact that you can continue to innovate on it, whereas Bitcoin just is. And so it's just, for me, the growth potential on Bitcoin is very minor compared to the growth potential on Ethereum. And so here we are, but we should get up here, we should break this, and we should march higher. But right now it's lagging to Ethereum. Oops, this is on a logarithmic chart. Let's take that away and look at this week we've had in Ethereum. Wow. So we know that that's a 26% candle this week. And we are running beautifully, and we've come right up, as you'd expect, to that exact line in the sand. Look at that, right on point, which is the highest weekly close ever for Ethereum. And we'll find out in the next 6 hours if Ethereum's going to put its highest ever weekly close. But we're right on there. And once we get above here, that's it. This is just going to really take off. A lot of people are talking about September seasonally being a very bad month for crypto. To be honest, that doesn't really resonate with me, and I think so many people are saying it that it's probably going to do the opposite. I'm expecting a very good month. And for me, there's just too much bullish news, too much adoption, too much, as well as the tokenomics for Ethereum, to create anything else. I'm sure we'll get overextended at some point and we'll see some really aggressive pullbacks, 30-40%, but I am leaning much more to the super cycle camp. I do think that we could see sustained adoption, particularly as corporations are all undoubtedly looking at NFTs right now and how that they can create brand loyalty, brand awareness, and huge amounts of commerce through NFTs. It's inevitable. I thought that DeFi would be how crypto really got its traction, but it's looking like NFTs will provide that solution. So yeah, here we are. I wouldn't be surprised. I'll make a big old call. I think we're going to be flirting with 5,000 this month. This week, which it sounds like a big call, but it's only. I reckon we'll get up to around here or so. I reckon we'll get another 20% week out of Ethereum personally. Let's see how it goes. Well, quote me on that next week. So looking really nice. And if we look at the ETH Bitcoin ratio, as I said, we're just shy of that 50% flipping, half the market cap of Bitcoin. We got that broke out. If you saw in my earlier videos, that this week I said Ethereum is breaking out. Don't be afraid to buy the breakout. In fact, let's just go back to that. I said that to you guys here just as the move started. So I hope some of you acted on that. And we've got the breakout here. And look at this. We're looking at the highest close of the ratio versus Bitcoin since back in 2018. So looking like a big deal. If we break 50, this could really start to move quickly. Really exciting times. But yeah, what a beautiful break. So if we look at this on a shorter time scale, you can see that we're really just coiling underneath this 50, probably getting ready for its impulsive move to 0.1 or so. So there we go. Lovely stuff. So if we look at DeFi on its own, DeFi continues to just grind up nicely. Really decent move. But if you look at DeFi valued in Ethereum, not so impressive, is it? And you have to remember that the more successful DeFi is, the more successful Ethereum is. The more transactions on DeFi, the more Ethereum gets burnt. So it's now kind of really hard to make a case for why to hold these DeFi coins instead of Ethereum, when Ethereum is just going to benefit from their success anyway, plus the success of NFTs and everything else, and all the things that will be built on it that we don't even know about yet. So we've kind of really broken down. We're looking at the lowest close for DeFi versus Ethereum ever. I'm so bullish on Ethereum, on DeFi on Ethereum, but we've got, but maybe we have to wait a while because you've got DeFi on Solana, you've got now things like Phantom and Avalanche offering these huge incentive programs. So the incentive's just not there to be using the ETH DeFi assets. So yeah, interesting to see that. I'm not sure it's about to turn around and fly up personally. Looking at MVI, so this is Metaverse Index, but I only have this valued in Ethereum. I can't tell you it in US dollars. But this week it lost ground because it was valued in Ethereum. It's actually up 5% on the week in US dollars. And if you're not familiar with MVI, this is like an ETF for Metaverse crypto coins. So it's a cracking token. I'll do a video independently about it. But it's just obviously taken a bit of a hit compared to Ethereum because Ethereum's up 25% for the week. But MVI, otherwise channeling up nicely. Probably not a bad time to move a little bit of ETH into MVI. I feel like it's just only going to start snowballing the momentum of the discussion of MVI and that whole metaverse space. Bitcoin shorts right down here, record lows. Bitcoin dominance, I mentioned this kind of bear flag, if you will, and I mentioned this breakout on my last video, and sure enough, we've broken right down, and I expect Bitcoin's dominance to continue to fall as Ethereum, Solana, and many of these other layer 1 solutions gain in their dominance, as well as many of these cool layer 2 tokens. So I expect this to be a continuation pattern. I wouldn't be surprised if we're down here in a month or so at 35%, which is, this line indicatively is the lowest I believe that Bitcoin dominance has ever been historically. So we're not far off the lowest historical, what's that, 13% or so. We'll see how that pans out. ETH dominance, pretty tasty up there, just flirting with that critical 20% area that we mentioned. It's not closing above it yet, but feels like the pressure's going to be building. Maybe we just have a flat week and then the pressure builds. We'll see. And total market cap, lovely week for the total market cap of crypto, now up to $2.3 trillion. We're just $1 trillion shy, we're just $100 billion shy of the total market cap for crypto close. I'm saying that we're going up to 10 trillion over the next 18 months to a year. 18 months to 2 years, maybe slightly more, but I see this as inevitable as the adoption grows with this Web 3.0 layer. So yeah, and a break of here could really be a big move up to 4 trillion or so. It's very exciting. Solana, I'm just going to show you on here. I said that we might consolidate here. Wow, we did not. Look at that. It just went for it. That's what I was expecting, some kind of consolidation. We can get rid of that. I was wrong. I did say that we were in this little wedge, and if we broke out of here, we'd move up. We did. That was quite a move. Again, maybe we consolidate here a little bit now. Solana is up 500% in the last... 300% in the last 5 weeks. 5 weeks or so. So incredible moves for Solana. Maybe it cools off for a little bit now. We will see. But I'll set an alert here, and I'll let you know on Twitter, TWilliamsB, as and when we do break and start moving further up. But 150 looks to be the top for now. Okay, that's it. I hope you found it useful. This is not financial advice. I'm just a guy on the internet sharing what I have learnt over I basically listen to 30 hours of content per week, and I try and share it to you into this condensed nugget. So if you found it useful, please share it with your mates. Please do hit the alert button. Please do like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I'll be back with you next week for another video. All the best. Happy investing. Speak soon. Bye.